I had a near-death experience when I was 25. My family was average. I didn't finish college, I went to work. I worked for a furniture company. I have worked here for 2 years. Although it is usually hard work, it is very satisfying for me. In the company where I work, if we finish the work for the day, we can leave work early and get the full daisy pay. It's not often that we finish work ahead of schedule, but this day we did, and as we drove home, I couldn't help but think about what a wonderful day it was. Even more perfect is the weather is also very good. I don't have many hobbies, I don't like to go to parties, I don't like too noisy environment, because the place where I work is very noisy. Fishing is my favorite leisure activity. I got off work earlier today. The weather is so good. I went home and got my fishing gear. There is a great fishing spot near our house, I go there a lot, and I'm about 7 miles away when I suddenly feel my car jolt and lose control. The car skidded on the highway and hit a pickup truck. It all seemed to happen in slow motion, with my brain effectively calculating the oncoming shock. I ended up bumping into a pretty big tree and I prayed, "God bless me," in my heart. When I tried to get myself out of the car, I started to feel pain. Another driver quickly ran up to me and told me to stay still. He had called for help. As I struggled to adjust my breath, blood flowed from a wound on my head into my eye, and I tried to wipe it off, but couldn't raise my arm. After what seemed like a long time, a fire truck arrived and the firefighters used tools to help me. I remember a lady in the ambulance saying to me, "I hope you don't like this shirt," and she cut my shirt off. I was rushed into the operating room in the hospital. The last thing I remember is the anesthetist telling me to relax and everything would be fine. Then I heard a loud bang. Suddenly, I was standing at the operating table watching the surgeon handle my body. At that point, all the pain is gone. Everyone in the operating room was moving with extreme urgency, while I watched silently. It was then that I was taken into an endless sea of white nothingness, which felt like a room with no walls, no ceiling, and no floor. Everything was the whitest white I'd ever seen, and a warm and peaceful feeling seemed to fill my entire being. Looking around, I couldn't see anyone else. At this point, I don't know how long I've been in this white room, because there's no time there. I just know it's been a long time. Suddenly, a door appeared and my first thought was, where did that come from? Why didn't I notice it before? The door opened and came a woman. I wouldn't call her an angel because she was missing wings. "Where am I?" I asked. "It's where your soul waits," she said. Waiting for what? She replied with a smile. Early souls often have to wait, and he decides what to do with them. "Does that mean I'm dead?" I asked. "Souls don't die, it's a transitional phase where some souls move on and some are sent back to fulfill their mission in life. What about me, will I move on?" "It's up to the Father." She said, "Follow me," and walked back to the door. She went in. When I walked in the door, I saw the most amazing scenery I've ever seen. Again, I saw a bluer sky than blue. I saw a group of people and everything seemed happy and peaceful. The lady took me to a table and sat me down. I sat there, yet the beauty of the place was awe-inspiring, and a man came up. He was wearing a glowing white robe. The man approached me and said, "My father has decided that this is not your time, you have a lot to do, and you will be sent back." I asked him why I had to go back, even though he didn't tell me his father's name. I now think he was Jesus. He smiled at me and explained that we all play a part in the Father's plan. No role is unimportant. Everything I do on earth will have a knock-on effect on more people's lives. If I'm allowed to stay there right now, it will affect too many lives. Then he said I'll stay when I come back, and until then I just need to know that he's been with me. Especially in the toughest of times. I made a request and I want to see my deceased grandfather. This request was not answered because I missed him so much. The man got up and walked away, and suddenly I heard the bang again. I was back in my body. The next day, the surgeon came to my ward to check on my condition. He said they surprised them when they did the operation. I asked him how long I had been dead, and I was surprised when he told me that I had been dead for 2 minutes and 34 seconds. It does look a lot longer to me. I have a broken wrist, a broken arm, a wound on my head, and years later, whenever it rains, my wrist still hurts. At first, I asked a few close friends and family to tell me about my near-death experience, but they just looked at me strangely, and my mom even tried to arrange for me to see a psychiatrist. I know what I went through, what I saw, and every time I think about this experience, my heart is filled with happiness. There is no pain, no worries. I hope to finish my task soon, so that I can go back to the other side. Next time I will definitely stay there,